Yes, there it is. There, we're doing it live. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Checking on the microphone. Appreciate you. Jessy Piff, hash maker, rapper, good dude. We had a good time on this one. I didn't know too much about him. And I know him as a lover, consumer of weed. Purple candy. He likes a lot of the hype strains. We got into that. I think you're going to like this one. Me and him have been messing around for the last 4 or 5 years, smoking weed, making hash, talking about different things in the game. He's one of us. Everyday wake and baker, smoker, needs his weed. 420kingstown.com. Join the 420K club. It's a good time around here. We love it at the 420 Kingdom. Last 3 Fridays of every month, you get yourself a meal, you get yourself some free weed to smoke on, you get yourself a good time. Video games, great times. We also have here, right there, you see it? Breakfast Connections blunts. Not this one you see here. This one you see right here. You pop it open like that. We are legal in New York. Yes, it is kind of funny, but it is cool. Blunts in New York City, Albany, New York, Northern Lights. Josh, tell me the address. As I spark this, tell me the address of Northern Lights Dispensary in Albany, New York, that has these lovely blunts. This one I like the most. This is the Gelato Fire. 100 Broadway, Menands, New York. Shout out Northern Lights. This is the first legal product for us. It's in the dispensaries. Futurola Hemp Cone. Gelato Fire, grown by Revert in Saratoga Springs. I hand-selected this strain along with the cat piss, 1 sativa, 1 indica. We try to get it for the everyday smoker. That's what Breakfast Connections is all about. We wake up, we smoke weed, we wake and bake. We do our thing. You're going to wake up either 2 ways as a stoner. You got shit to do or you're chilling. Either way, Breakfast Connections is going to give you that strain to pair with that day, that lifestyle. Speaking of which, go to our YouTube channel. We got a breakfast show pairing weed with different strains from different growers, reviewing them, pairing them with different breakfast locations, reviewing that as well, their restaurant. It's a good time. What else do we got here? I shouted out the club, Northern Lights, breakfastconnectionsny.com. Check out these things if you're in New York. They're fucking great. These are fucking good, dude. Part of the Breakfast Club. I think that's what it's called. $5. You get bonus content, a bunch of cool stuff on there. breakfastconnectionsny.com. 420kingston.com. It's a party over here. Join the club. We love you. Enjoy the show. Jessy Piff. This is a good one. Peace. So you did choose Tropic Thunder. Yeah. I have the bootleg DVD player in here. That's the only thing I have. So
it's okay. Talladega Nights is nice.
Yep. I was gonna play How High, but we already watched that. Remember?
Too much.
Got him.
We here for it.
Oh shit. All right.
Oh wow, twice in a row, brother.
So, Jessy Piff, Candyman. Tell me more about that, because like I said, the last couple shows, we've only talked about how people are only about flavor.
I would say, flavor is... I mean, as a smoker, growing up smoking a lot of shitty weed, let me back up. When we were selling weed, it was like, you buy mids, you sell mids, you smoke haze.
You buy mids, you sell mids, you smoke haze. That's interesting. I think that one's gonna touch a lot of people. I actually haven't heard that, but that makes total sense. Yeah, because haze was the drug dealer weed, right? So if weed was your drug that you were selling, you were not selling the haze, you were selling the work, and you were smoking the best. Yeah, haze really was only the best back then, right?
It's like
people say other things, but at least East Coasters, you know?
East Coast, like everybody had the guy that had purple haze. Everybody had a guy that had purple haze.
Okay.
Now, when you want to talk about like getting into like silver haze and super silver haze and all that shit, we didn't get that. We never really got that. That shit never came over here.
And that was Amsterdam genetics, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so we got like
a lot of people were growing that in Canada, bringing it down.
Pretty much anything that came to New York and went nuts came to us.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. You're talking like Rhode Island, Providence, right?
Yeah, like I can't speak on the rest of New England per se, but like Rhode Island, like they used to call us the through state because you got to drive through Rhode Island.
Connecticut was like that too.
Yeah, to get anywhere. So like, yeah,
there's always the drop off in Rhode Island.
Somebody always had a family member in New York or whatever, or like it would always be some shit like, oh well, my family member lives in New York. He wants to sell some weed to me, so I'm gonna sell, so I can sell it down here, type of shit. So like,
you were always into hash since I met you, but it seemed like, were you always into bubble and stuff like that, or was it like, what was your journey with hash? Because when I met you, you were like a hash guy.
Well, that's because I was at the dispensary and I was in extraction, so like I was trying.
Okay, so it's really like what you were put into and what you were doing on an everyday basis.
And then like, I mean, I've always been into hash because like one of my buddies, he used to like save the key from his grinder. He used to press it and like make hash.
When? What years? Because that's important.
I want to say like 2004.
2004 pressing keef.
Yeah.
Into like, what was it? Was it like dark goo or was it like shit that we see?
It was like the dark brick shit.
Because it was probably old keef, right?
Like, like think about how much keef you had. Like you could only do it if you were selling weed.
In that fucking grinder you use downstairs in the club. Yeah. Like, that thing is fucking.
And I'm not talking like one of the big grinders or nothing like. I'm talking like a regular grinder. He's just dumping it out and shit like that. Like that was another thing. The hookahs. Can we please talk about hookahs, bro?
Yeah, talk to me about hookahs, man. I bought one when I was younger, but
for all the people out there that love smoking hookah at the club, bro, like
hashish, what's it called? Sheesh?
I don't even know. I don't even know, bro. I know it's tobacco, but I don't know what it's called because I don't fuck with it like that. Because when I was growing up, like, if you had a fucking hookah, you were the man. Because you had the money to buy a hookah. 2, you had enough weed to fill a hookah.
Oh yeah, that thing had to be like a big old bowl.
You had to have a lot, and we put like tobacco in it too.
That's like, think about putting an eighth in a blunt. It's like, yo, that's crazy,
bro. And you're hitting that every time, but like, like it was like, you know what I mean? Like we're growing up, we kids and shit like that. Like, you can't hide a hookah at your house.
No.
Like, not from your parents.
That was an instrument. And that was the thing, if your parents found that, they're like, what the fuck? They're smoking like crazy.
Right. So, like, for me, it's always been like, oh, if you have a hookah, you the man with the weed. Because, like, you could smoke that bitch. You'd have to have a lot of weed to justify smoking your boys up out of hookah.
I knew that, like, weed was really trendy for me when I was younger. Like, I started smoking weed in, like, 2006 when I was 15. And maybe 14, I don't know. But I bought, like, multiple pieces. I was like into it. I just wanted them. I didn't even really use them a lot because look, I've been smoking blunts this whole time. So like it was such a trendy thing. Like I got a hookah. I don't think we ever used it.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me in bongs. Like I'll buy a bong. And I won't ever use it. And
it's not like I was like about the glass. Like I think I bought an acrylic bong. Remember when the acrylic was like the thing? And an acrylic bong is like a plastic bong with a little carve on the back. I like those.
I have one of the what's it called? The rubber ones?
Silicone. Rubber one? Oh, the silicone one, yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those. I never used it.
Yeah.
No, I used it one time when I first got it. I used it, and then I was like, I don't like this.
Dude, I was talking to someone in the sauna this morning because, like, there's always old timers in there, and everyone always asks you in there what you do. I'm like, I'm in the cannabis industry. I tried it once. It didn't, got me too high or whatever. Because every time old timers, like, they want it for sleep or, like, inflammation, someone gives them a fucking edible, dude. It's like the worst thing. Everyone thinks they should take an edible. So concentrated, bro. And I really try to be like, dude, just like get a little bit, a pinner of some dank. Take a couple hits. That's the right dosage for someone trying to get into it.
I think that people think that like when you give them like flour that they're gonna do what we do and smoke a whole joint to their face.
Fuck no, dude. I don't even do that sometimes.
Right. I be putting this shit out.
Yeah.
Cause like that's how you know the difference between good weed.
What?
Tell me not. Like, if you're smoking a joint and you like, whoa, bro, let me put this shit out.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is your surroundings.
Yeah.
Your environment too. And I think that has to do with good weed too, and a good, bad weed, whatever, is like your surroundings. Like think about mushrooms, right? That's always the thing, right? People are like, I have a bad trip, I freak out, and it's like your environment, your surroundings. I think with herb, it's the same thing.
Oh, for sure.
Especially newbies, dude. Like you and me have been smoking so much weed for so long, it's gonna be really hard to get us smoking flower to like get us fucked up to where we're like tripping.
Yeah, I think that it's also like I could probably trip if I was taking a lot of dabs, because I don't dab.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Yeah, so like I could probably like that's what I try and tell people. If you're tripping off of the weed, it's probably because one, you haven't had that amount of concentrated weed like that. It's usually with concentrated shit that you're gonna get the trippy effect. Like with flower, that flower's got to be so fucking fire, and you got to have like not smoked any weed for like years.
Yeah, dude, I don't come close to that, which is funny though, because if I take edibles or take too big of a dab, I'll freak out.
Yeah.
So it's just concentrated cannabinoids.
It has to like, because you got to think about how much weed you're actually smoking in the concentrates. Y'all don't know. I couldn't tell you it
even the ones who are testing it.
Yeah,
like, they don't even know.
I couldn't tell you, and like I've always had that kind of like not doubt in the testing for like edibles, but like the way that they test it is like, so like we put it in based on like the weight of the food. You know what I mean? Is how much THC is allowed in it, right? But you can't.
A lot of people in your field talk that way too. So you work for Cultivating RI. You're a cultivator there, right?
Yeah.
And the people who are in like the legal industry, medical or recreational or whatever, when they go through the testing process, even the people who like go through those rigorous testings, it's like, yeah, we do it, and the THC count, whatever, it's never even real.
The math bats out. Like the math.
In what
works.
way though? Like what are they trying to prove?
So like you could only have like, I don't even want to like say the wrong numbers, but like you can only have a certain amount of THC per edible.
Okay, and that's just edibles.
Right. So like per edible, you can only have a certain amount of THC, and then per package, there's another number of how high the THC can be. So that's like how many edibles you could have in that package.
Right.
At that volume. So like that's how we're calculating the numbers on it to tell you like the dosage, but like we're using different strains. You don't know with the extraction that they're using to get to the rosin.
Yeah, you're relying on these companies too.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps that go. It's not just like, oh, we grew this weed and we turned it into fucking hash. Like that's it. Like it could be all of the weed that they had failed, and like they could put it all together and mix it in with a bunch of flavors, and then they hash that, they wash that shit out and they get hash, and they could call it something else if they wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. Luckily, there's some people in the industry that are stand-up people, and they tell you what's up. And, like, that's what we try to do at Cultivating RI. We try and make it very transparent what we're doing and, like, the difference. And, like, we're tastemakers for sure, bro.
Yeah, you guys won first place in that first Rhode Island Cup, right?
Yeah, in the Cultivators Cup. We're about to have there's another one coming up.
Do you know the date?
I don't. It's around 420 though. That's what they try and do it. You know what I mean? To make it easy for every pothead out there.
Yeah, dude. Some of the shit I've seen is good, man. And you going down to Sweet Spot. That's a spot down here in Southern Rhode Island.
I like Sweet Spot.
Yeah, it seems like you, Mammoth. What's the Rhode Island's Finest? Those seems to be like the good ones. And I try to tell people all the time because I'm from Connecticut, dude. It's like fucking night and day. Like nobody grows weed there. Even in the underground culture, no one really grows weed there. And like, I just named those companies. There's a lot of other ones that have fire too in Rhode Island that are the illegal companies. You can go to a dispensary, and it's not that expensive, right? But when it comes to dispensary weed,
depends on what you're comparing it to.
That's right. So like in New York at the dispensaries, it's 60 an eighth before taxes.
Yeah, so
and it's not anywhere as close as good as what I'm talking about.
I would say that Rhode Island's probably gonna be slept on for medical and for like recreational weed, just because like
they kind of been for fucking 10 years at least.
We're the smallest state. Everybody knows that.
Right.
So nobody's expecting us to blow everybody out of the water. Even if we had the best weed, I don't expect anybody to say that we had the best weed. You know what I mean? Like
I would love to see a Rhode Island, Maine competition.
I don't
be very close.
I'm gonna be quite honest.
Maine
like nothing against Rhode Island, nothing against Maine. But me personally, as a smoker, for what I know about smoking and what I know about growing, like that just wouldn't be fair for Rhode Island. I feel like Maine, they've been them guys on the East Coast for so long, like in the underground aspect of it.
Vermont's a sleeper too.
Yeah, and like, and I have smoked a lot. I've actually smoked a lot of Vermont and Maine weed, but
Maine's better than that.
I would say Maine's got higher quality, but they're doing it at a higher level for more people in a more legal setting. So like,
interesting, yeah,
it's the difference. So
yeah,
like,
that's
Vermont
is
the
more winner right there.
The Vermont's more of freedom. You know
Maine's
what I
pretty
mean?
freedom
like,
too,
but their freedom.
They're legal freedom.
Yeah, legal freedom.
Vermont's
business
like cowboy freedom.
Yeah, Vermont's like, yo, we just want to grow our weed and leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah,
like,
and
you know what I mean?
dude, I've fucking had some fire outdoor grown from Vermont.
I mean, Vermont's pretty much like that about everything, though.
No one really talks about Mass, though, when it comes to this debate. But in the legal market, anyone who knows if they're buying weed, like everyday people, where are they going? They're going to Mass.
They got the cheapest prices on the East Coast.
And the weed's not that bad.
It is.
It's not that bad.
It is. It is, bro. Like,
okay.
I'm not even gonna say that it's like that bad on a big scale. I'm just gonna say that
there's so
from
much
what
of
I
it too.
saw outside looking in, Mass went too fast. They went legal too fast to the point where they let everybody open up a dispensary.
Yeah.
Anybody could sell.
There wasn't too many cultivators too. We tried to do it out there, and thank God we didn't do. We would have fucked.
And now it's like, I mean, the fans will let you know, like, they want the most weed that they can get for the cheapest price.
Yeah.
That's
it. Why everyone's going there.
That's it.
Yeah. They'd probably make the most money on the East Coast, right?
Who?
Massachusetts.
I couldn't quantify that. I imagine they're up there.
You know that Connecticut's first 4 months was the first day of Rhode Island in sales?
Rhode Island was waiting for it, though.
Doesn't matter. That's so crazy.
We were waiting for that shit.
So crazy.
Y'all know, like...
4 months. It's one day.
Bro, we are the most overpopulated state per capita in the United States. We have so many people.
Yeah, especially up in Prov.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, we complain that we only have, like, 6 dispensaries or whatever. They just approved a bunch. Like,
really? They need them bad.
I think they gave out too many.
Yeah. Well, in Connecticut, they don't have enough growers. There's no weed in dispensaries.
There's too many growers here.
Yeah, it's the opposite in Connecticut. It's crazy.
Everybody grows good weed here. Not everybody. But most people.
The bad weed is good fucking weed out here, bro.
It's pretty good.
And I feel bad. There's a couple growers
I feel bad because
they're getting like 13, 12 for packs, and it's like good weed.
Look, like, I don't want to speak bad on the legal market. Like, Rhode Island is actually doing a pretty good job, I mean, I guess, of how they're giving it to the customers right now compared to some other states that have had to go through some real fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But,
Rhode Island seems to hit the ground running.
Yeah. So,
because they just flipped their medical scene.
I'm appreciative of how Rhode Island has, like, gotten to the meat and potatoes of it first.
Yeah. It's almost been a year, right?
It's been a year. It's been a year.
Yeah.
So like I'm excited about that. So like, but they could do some work.
In what way?
They just started letting cultivators like we can now buy from our own jobs now.
What do you mean? Like, yeah, that's confusing.
So as cultivators, we can buy a product from our own job.
Oh, you mean as employees?
Yeah. Before we couldn't do that. We had to go to the dispensary.
Yeah, that's actually frowned upon in like most states.
Yeah.
That's what's up, dude. Good for Rhode Island. That's like basic fucking shit.
Yeah.
So annoying for someone who grows it that can't.
Like, I gotta go to the dispensary and buy the weed and get taxed on the weed that I grew for the state. So annoying.
So lame.
Like, that shit it's wild, bro. Like, I see it. I'm here. I'm around it.
Yeah.
I'm here. Have my money. Like,
right.
You know, like, why couldn't we do that? You know? So, like, that's...
You guys grow good weed, too. Like, the stuff that you've told me over the last, like, year of just, like, talking to me about the genetics you've run and seeing the finished product of them, like the Zazul and stuff like that. Which strain won, though? Because that was the one. Was it the Rainbow Belts?
The Rainbow Belts won.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Rainbow Belts.
So
never really was. It's like a cherry pie knockoff to me.
So we have cherry on top, and we have wedding pie.
And
we have rainbow.
Yeah, those are like the three.
So
those are like strains you have to have.
Yeah, so like
when it comes to profiles, and there's no way you guys are running it if it doesn't get high in THC.
Well, no, Rainbow Belt is like it started with like when I got there was 18.
Yeah,
and now I think it's like
another thing Rhode Island's on too.
I think we finally got it into the 20s.
But do you see that matters? Obviously,
yeah,
and buyers, it matters, man. It's
it matters,
crazy.
but I would say that when we put that rainbow belts on the shelf, that shit's gone.
Yeah. You think it was because of the trophy?
No, had nothing to do with the trophy.
Really?
That shit was already gone for 6 years. That shit already been slinging.
Yeah, and rainbow belts popular. You know,
funny
story.
One
of the candies.
Funny story, right? About rainbow belts. I had never smoked it before until I got into the industry, right? Because like I didn't give a damn about names until I got into the industry. Like I follow it, but like I didn't really care. And then like I got into the industry, I started really learning about this shit. And we used to be in this like when I worked at Summit. I'm gonna say Summit. I'm not gonna say the other one. Say Summit. I worked at Summit, so they used to put us in this program, like this testing program. We used to test the weed, and you know every week they would give us like 3 strains, and we had to like tell them how we felt about it.
Smart, good business,
right? And it'd be from the cultivators,
mm-hmm.
like just extra shit that they give it to everybody that's in this program. And one time it was rainbow belts, and I was like, "Yo!" They never tell us which ones it comes from.
This like what 2018?
No, this was like 20.
Shit, that was a long. It's probably 2020,
2021. Like 2021, maybe.
Shit, the years are passing.
2021, probably, right? Maybe 2022.
Yeah.
I got rainbow belts. I smoked that shit. I was like, "Yo, this is the tastiest weed I've ever tasted in my whole fucking life, ever." Okay. And I wanted to know who it came from. So I went into work the next day. I'm like, "Yo, who did this come from? Who is this? Who is this? Cultivating, all right."
So you know you got one.
So I was like, "Oh shit, that's dope." You know what I mean? And I continued to work there. I'm getting frustrated working there because like they're changing over their business and
it's
shit.
A summit.
Like, yeah, it's a summit, right? So I'm smoking weed and I break my grinder. right? Shit, you know, shit happens.
Joint roller's worst nightmare.
Yeah, I break my grinder. So I gotta go to
break this up with my fucking hands.
So no, absolutely not. So I gotta go to the smoke shop right in my town, and I walk in and I'm like, "Yo, man, there's a lot of nice stuff in here." And I talked to the guy at the desk. I'm like, "Hey, man, like, I'm looking for a job. Like, here's my resume. Like, I'm just trying to stay in the industry, but like, get out, you know, get something new." And I tell him I work at Summit. And he's like, "Yo, you work where?" And I was like, "Yeah, I work at Summit." He's like, "Hey, how about you come work for me at Cultivation, all right?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, and then I'll go there. They show me how everything works out and everything. And it's just like night and day from where I'm working at to where I wanted to be and like where I wanted to go as a grower. And like, it was a no-brainer for me, bro. Like, so that's how I met them. It's like, it's just weird how it started with rainbow belts.
Yeah.
And now I'm there and
that's a staple, right?
Yeah.
That's not going nowhere.
That shit is hard to grow.
Yeah, the good strains are.
But yeah, we try to cater to like what our people like to buy.
Find balance in that, right?
Yeah, like we
curating a menu.
We're starting to get a lot more flavors in there, and so that like people
what are
can
some new ones?
Try some new stuff. We got Dolato.
Yeah, I love the Dolato.
Yeah, we got Dolato in the works. That one's
there's some good cuts around Rhode Island too of Dolato that I've really liked.
We got Kush Caviar. We've been growing that regularly now.
How'd that Scotty Too Hottie thing go?
Booming. The nuggets are like fucking moon rock. Like they're huge, bro.
Yeah, I fuck with cultivating. All right, dude. I like the branding. It's simple. It's craft weed. It's cool.
You know, we try not to talk too much. We try to let the weed do the talking.
It does. You know, and you guys did win. So and I think that was like the first real Rhode Island.
Crazy thing is,
contest.
Like this ain't no shade to nobody, but like there was 2 categories for the cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indica and sativa.
Right.
We had rainbow belts and I think wedding pie.
Right.
That we put in, right? They switched them for us.
Yeah.
So rainbow belts, we had it in the sativa category. We had wedding pie in the indica category. And they mixed them up. And somehow when they got it or whatever.
Isn't rainbow belts an indica?
Technically it's indica, but that's the most sativa shit that we have. You know what I mean?
We can talk about that in the next the Patreon podcast.
That's how we felt. We just like, we didn't
Breakfast Club
we were just like, yo, here, have some weed and like, you guys pick. We don't really care. Like, we put it in the category y'all feel like, because we don't really go by that.
We gotta
like,
stop that
especially
shit,
at that time when it was just like becoming legal. Everybody's getting used to like the,
mm-hmm.
how everybody wanted to label things. Like, we were like, the conversation, I guess, like, between legal matters was like, how are we going to label sativa and indica? You know what I mean? And like they kind of just wanted to keep it going instead of doing the hybrid shit. You know, so we don't really have a lot of that as far as like other places might call hybrid shit. So they put Rainbow Belts in the indica and Wedding Pie sativa. We lost the sativa, didn't even place. It was just crazy. We were like, what? And then we won with the Rainbow.
Yeah. They need to cut that out with the sativa indica thing. And like I said, we'll get into that in the Breakfast Club pod after this one. But like that is something that needs to go, dude. Like I'm sick of hearing it. I don't give a fuck. Sour Diesel is the best one to talk about when it comes to indicas and sativas. That is a sativa, I would say, right? Get the fuck out of here with that as a sativa. Sour Diesel fucks me up. It's a lot of different variations of sour, blah, blah, blah. No sour has ever been like Piff. See, that's the thing. It's like I don't even really know any other real glue. See, that's another example.
Yeah.
I get it could be sativa leaning to where it doesn't knock you the fuck out. Yeah. It's more of a euphoric high. Remember the strawberry cream cheese I did? Yeah. That is like not an indica, but like, it is. That's my point. It's like, but it's euphoric.
I would say that people got to the point where they were like, if it don't put you in the couch, it don't couch lock you, then it's a sativa.
Yeah. That's what people kind of got like obsessed with. In a way.
Like they were just like, let's just make it easier. Like you either got your eyes real low or you bouncing around. Yeah. That's the only type of weed.
In the couch. I used to punch people.
Bro, I was like,
shut up.
I was like, that's cool and everything when we was kids. Dude, shut up. But right now, like, I don't give a fuck. I would say it's more for the growers. Like on a breeding and growing standpoint, I would
like
say
indicas and sativas.
Yeah, like how the plants grow. I would say that you could define it more like that. That would be.
And you're not even talking about length of flower. You're talking about like the way. Because like sour does like, I get that. Yeah. Sour does have that like sativa.
Yeah, bro.
Long arm.
Yeah, when they stretch, like I'll say, all right, yeah, that's more sativa. Like, you know what I mean. When it's split, I'd say it's more indica. Like that. That for me, that sounds the most to make sense. Well, all the other stuff, like. Everybody's trying to get gas and candy. Like,
yeah.
From what I've heard, that's all breeders really want is gas and candy.
Breeders.
That's the ones that they want. Thing. Bro, like.
You can't escape it. It's funny because Piff is in your name, too. Yeah, but it's like, dude, in New York and people, they're crazy about it.
It's crazy how I've been rapping for over 10 years, right? I've been Jessy Piff for a long, long time, right? So many people had no idea what Piff was.
Well, Piff's like a term for something cool.
And it just went away.
So many things Piff.
For me, it was always like, well, Piff was the best weed.
Yeah.
That was when I grew up. That's how it always meant. So like, I was just like, that's why I'm Jessy Piff, because Jessy's me. So I was like, it's the best of me.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? Like,
nice.
And I was like, it could be weed, but like nobody ever caught on.
You are the weed's a big part of everything you do.
But like nobody had ever, and then especially at that time when it wasn't cool to be talking about weed. You could get arrested for talking about weed.
Nah, I sold T-shirts for a long time.
Yeah. Hey,
exactly.
Everybody's got a story from, at least, like, if you're, like, my age, you got a story from, like, getting arrested or somebody getting arrested for a roach or less.
I did. I got arrested when I was in high school. I kicked off the football team because I had, like, 2 grams, dude.
I got arrested one time because I was out late, driving around in my town, right? Got pulled over. I'm looking for weed. I'm waiting for dudes. I'm hitting everybody up in my phone. I got like 4 or 5 dealers. I'm, you know that.
Driving looking for weed.
Yeah, yes, I'm driving around looking for that shit, right?
Yes.
And,
remember I told you about how I got the band?
Yeah, I
still do it sometimes. Shout out the homies.
I get pulled over. He goes, yo, can I search your car? I'm like, go ahead, bro. Like, I ain't got shit on me. This motherfucker finds a bag in my car. A bag.
Pathetic. It's pathetic that they fucking even like care about that. They really do just want to fucking lock you up.
Yeah, he was like, all right, what do you do
Rhode
know
Island
about
system
this?
Is fucked up, dude. The stories I've heard from people in this game out here is so bad.
Sure, it's bad.
The system is bad.
But
I love putting people in those fucking cages here.
Oh yeah,
it sucks
for anything.
Yeah, that's a whole nother one.
But you know, I feel like it happens everywhere. So I'm trying not to. I've learned that expectations will rob you of your happiness.
All right, we're going to wrap up this first one, and I really want you to explain that real quick as we wrap this up, because that was a really good one. We got a couple minutes here, so you need to elaborate on that one.
All right,
say it again.
I said expectations will rob you of your happiness. And I say that because it's not to be like negative or anything like that. Like you shouldn't expect nothing from nobody and that. I'm not on that tip. It's more of just like what you expect people to do, what you expect things to be will upset you when it's not like that. But that's something that you're putting on the world that the world is telling you is it might agree with what the world's going on. Like don't get me wrong, like your expectations might be spot on and it feels like everything's cool, but when they're not, like that's a very frustrating place to be where you feel like things should be one way and they're not.
And the best things in life are unexpected.
Right. So
you gotta be present and aware.
Yeah, you gotta be aware of what's
goals
going
are good,
on.
but I get what you're saying.
Like you gotta be motivated, right? To do.
You've been in hip hop and weed too, like.
Yeah.
Man, not too many people like stick around for that. So I think that is something you learn. We talk about that a lot on the show. Is like learning from pain.
Yeah.
Do you think you got that from that of like it's gonna go this way and it doesn't, and you had to kind of deal with it, and then you're like, there's a lot of things that I didn't embrace along that way that kind of made you get more present with this stuff?
It was more of like, like my mistakes were definitely like I'm a very like analytical person. I like to analyze the shit that I go through, bro. Like, and so like the mistakes that I made prepared me for what I went through later on. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like me being in music so heavy, it brought like the personality out in me.
Yeah.
I used to be a shy kid, so like music kind of helped me get over that shit. And so like now I can move around in different circles, and now I know a lot of people, and that made connections lead to this. And music is the reason why I got in the game. Like my buddy that I was rapping with worked at a dispensary, and he was like, "Bro, you ain't got a job? I got you."
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Hey, that's some game right there, man. Yeah, we're gonna get into that more in the Breakfast Club part of this thing, but just like it's pain sometimes, bro. And sticking with it, I commend you, man. And thank you for coming on this show, bro.
Bro, of course, dude.
Yeah, man. You gotta come back, dude.
I'll be back, of course. You already know.
Right on, man. It's fun though, right?
Yes, always.
Fuck yeah.
Always, bro.